Right, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to walk through our semi-automated LinkedIn outbound acquisition funnel, and I've got my screen shared because I want to show you guys all the automations that we run, the CRMs that we have, everything that we kind of run to book appointments from LinkedIn for my setter to book appointments. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first thing is just obviously connection requests and the opener messages. So on LinkedIn, I find it very effective if you manually find the people that you want to reach out to, because naturally the limits on LinkedIn versus like something like email are much lower. You want to go for a much higher quality outreach, or you're just going to hit people that are sometimes a bit too generic founders, generic agencies. And so I get my setup with an SOP. I've given him basically an SOP that helps him reach out to and connect with the most ideal businesses for our outbound service. So he sends connection requests and he sends an opener message. Now, our flow on LinkedIn is an opener message with a soft CTA to share more results. This is our script right here. Probably wouldn't recommend using it because we use it. Probably think for yourself, but this is what we found to work on LinkedIn very well, and you could apply it to your agency pretty easily. So, or to your offer. So should I say? Going to spare the fake compliments name. No, you could probably get a bunch of DMs. This is a shameless pitch you might like. Then it's just the value proposition. What can you get for them? And then some without. So like without doing X, Y, or Z. Or for example, we've done here, who want to buy your highest ticket offer. Would you ever to me sharing a quick video of our process and results? Point is, like, you don't have to worry about the script too much, but the point is we do an opener, we follow up on the opener once, we send a VSL. I have a VSL, basically a 2-minute VSL walking through our offer. We embed that in the LinkedIn chat. And then we have a CTA to that video for them to book a call, and then we send them a calendar message. So the flow is opener, VSL, and then calendar message. And we find that just in general, and this is probably a good lesson, on a platform like LinkedIn, on things like Instagram, on probably even Twitter, if you're doing outreach on Twitter, like those platforms, it's much better to, you can still go for an offer approach, but you want to have a much softer CTA. In email, we found that doing harder CTAs, it's more of an in and out direct approach where you can just go straight for a call. With something like social platforms, because people are on their social platforms so often, you can almost get away with doing a softer CTA, gets more positive replies, and then you send a VSL, then you warm them up, and then you book them in for an appointment with you. That's kind of the flow that we use. And so my setter sends all the openers manually because he's connecting with all these leads manually. And we're doing this off multiple LinkedIn accounts to bypass the limits. That's the difference with email. You want just as many accounts as you can get and name them partner at your company so that you can, however many setters you have, can run these accounts and just book appointments for you. Then basically we have automated CRMs and all this stuff I want to show you. Now, when they reply, whenever a prospect replies, we use an API called Unipile. This API connects to our CRM. So what it does is we have a custom N8N workflow. Then whenever someone replies on LinkedIn, we actually have their message come into Slack. Now, for example, a positive reply has been received and will be added to RTO as interested. Here's a lead that replied. We have his LinkedIn profile, so I can always check like how qualified is the lead and all those other things if I want to connect with them as well. And basically the account that they came from and then the response that they gave. Now, because obviously LinkedIn there are a bunch of software tools for LinkedIn, but we've actually built our own mini uni box inside of Slack that lets us reply to leads right here. So my setter can manage all these replies in here. I can see how he's replying. I can, even when he doesn't have the chance, I can reply back. And so we can actually send our replies through Slack, and it sends back through LinkedIn because we have this Unipile API. We've set all this up in N8N with Claude Code. It's pretty cool. What we can also do is send a VSL. So I've also set up a custom N8N workflow that when I click this button, send VSL, it's actually going to send the VSL to the prospect, and then we can add the accompanying text with it. Because like usually we send this video to explain the offer, and then we do just this script to go along with it. So like we can actually reply. But my setter doesn't have to log into all these LinkedIn accounts at the same time, or just have a nightmare to track everything. We can reply to everything within one Unibox from every single account. He knows which account it's coming from. Then this connects to our actual CRM. So this is where, if it's an interested lead, this notification here said positive reply has been received and will be added to Attio as interested. So Attio is our CRM. And what we've set up is another N8N workflow, a lot of those. But the point is we set up a classification with Claude to basically put this reply into either interested, reach back out soon, or it doesn't get added to the CRM at all. So the cases where it gets added to the CRM are when they're keen to learn more information, they're keen to book a call, or it's bad timing, but they are still interested. This all gets transferred into our CRM. So this is our CRM right here, and it's basically a table of all the leads that we have coming through LinkedIn from every single account centralized into one CRM. Usually in the past, you had to do this with Google Sheets, very manual process, very tedious, but now it's all centralized, and there's a lot of useful automations that we've built to help my setter book more appointments for me for the amount of messages that we send. Now we have source attribution. So whenever, for example, we have a chat with someone, let's say they came to us first, there's a Unipile webhook that actually sends all that information to Claude, and Claude is going to classify whether they were an inbound lead or an outbound lead. So not only whether they're interested, but whether they're an inbound lead or an outbound lead. If they're just reverse pitching, or they're spam, or they're recruiting, that lead does not get added to Attio. So Claude correctly classifies that that's just fluff. It doesn't get added to our CRM. So we only have genuine leads in here. And for example, I'll obviously blur all this out when it's because it's going to be on YouTube. But point is, these leads, when they're interested, this automatically gets added as interested, or they automatically get added as reach back out soon in the stage section here. Once the record is actually created, because Unipol can also pull the company name, the company domain, and obviously the LinkedIn profile URL. So that's what we have, the information for all these leads. So we have, which account it came from, all the lead information. And not only that, when the record comes through, and this is in this diagram as well, whenever a record is added into Attio, and that can only be an interested lead or a reach back out soon lead, we have a custom waterfall enrichment through Clay and Zapier to find that phone number, validate the phone number, and push it back into the CRM, into this record here. So a bunch of these leads, you're not going to find all the numbers, but for some of the interested leads, you can literally find the numbers right here, and you can then call them. So we have these sections here: last LinkedIn link, DM, last call, last SMS, last WhatsApp, number of follow-ups. So we do up to 8 follow-ups on an interested lead. And my setter, because of these automations, everything is also centralized. He's able to DM them, follow up with DM. He's able to call them. He's able to SMS them, obviously with opt-out messages and being GDPR compliant and whatnot. He can WhatsApp message. He can WhatsApp call, and it's just really, really effective because he can track everything at once, and I can also just hop into Slack and into this CRM to see how things are going, and it's easy for me to train him as well. Now, this is it. I just have a setup, but you could also build out something like this just for yourself to run. If you're currently doing your own acquisition, this is how I'd recommend to set it up on LinkedIn. And to be honest, it might look fancy, but with some Claude code prompting in a few hours, you can make some really good workflows in N8N. As long as you've got the right CRMs and some basic automations and Clay and stuff, you can build this out pretty easily. What else? So we have these stages. So the things that are automated is, for example, when a lead books, the lead is marked booked. So when we have someone that's gone to our calendar link, we have also Calendly connected to our N8N to cross-check the leads that have booked. And basically, if it matches any one of these leads, what it does is it marks them as booked. It moves them to our deal pipeline, which is a separate sales CRM for me to basically take them through the sales process, and we do all the sales follow-up and tracking through that other CRM. But point is, we can track everything in here. Everything is centralized in one Unibox inside of this Slack here. So all the leads that ever come in, if it's spam, if it's fluff, even those replies come into this channel, but they don't get added to Attio. Only genuine interested leads or reach back out soon leads, whether they're inbound or outbound, get added into Attio. Now we have 2 accounts connected right now, but I'm currently in the process of adding 3-4 more accounts. We have 6 accounts, and what we'll be able to do is from this one LinkedIn leads channel and from this one Attio CRM, we'll be able to manage every single lead, send all the replies that we need to without using AI slop, AI automation replies. It's still my setter doing everything that's actually prospect facing. And we have auto booking detection. And then all that the setter has to do is track follow-ups and call leads and just update this CRM with notes of where every prospect is at. Once they book, that lead is then pushed to me, and that's for me to deal with. And we have a nurturing process for show rate to make sure leads are showing up. The point is, this is a really effective LinkedIn system. If you want a LinkedIn acquisition system built like this, done for you, there's a link in the description. You can book a call with me. I'll see where you're at with acquisition right now, just in general. See whether LinkedIn is a viable outbound strategy for your business. Whether it's B2B, usually it only really works if it's a B2B kind of SaaS agency consultant kind of high-end B2B business. Other than that, I'm going to make more videos, and please watch them. Cheers.